So, how do you make the differentiation between friendship and relationship? What are some things that you would say, okay, you know what? We're still friends. This is not a relationship as yet. Because sometimes I feel like people get confused between are we just friends or are we a relationship, right? Because friendship, a lot of times folks are already having sex when it's a friendship. As a matter of fact, you having sex, it's not even a friendship. The person is just an acquaintance. You just getting to know the person as a friend, and you're already having sex with the person. But so you can't say that sex only happens when we're at a relationship, because a lot of times people don't wait for what most people might consider a relationship to start having sex. And so a lot of times stuff gets mixed up, right? People don't know whether or not it's a friendship or a situationship or a friendship with benefits, or at what point do we cross over into a relationship. And I think this also goes to when it comes to, okay, I talked about this in another video, who's paying for what at what point in you all knowing each other, like who's paying for what. Like in a relationship, okay, are we, does it even matter if we're in a relationship in terms of like if you go on a date or whatever the case is? So it doesn't matter who's paying for what, because you know you're in a relationship. So I pay, you pay, whatever the case is, right? Nobody's keeping count. But if it's a situationship, should we be going half half, or should you be handling your own meal and I am handling my own meal? Because this is a situationship, because we don't know where things are gonna go, right? So I was looking at a, I was listening to some folks talk about how they divide money in a relationship, and by all accounts, they weren't even in a relationship. That was more of a friendship, situationship, and folks are doing so much so fast that it seems to be a relationship. Well, maybe it is a relationship of some sort, right? Because it depends on how people quantify what is a situationship, what is a friendship, what is a relationship. How do you make that distinction? Like, how do you make that distinction when it comes to spending money, when it comes to sex, all that sort of stuff? How do you make the distinction between friendship, situationship, relationship?